Yes, it is. All right, I have a letter here from Randy, of course, asking to be excused. I need a motion, second to excuse him.
Motion.
Second. Mr. Bartlett. Aye. Mrs. Brown Knight.
Aye.
Mrs. Goldbaugh.
Aye.
Dr. Lewis.
There's no excuse for Mr. York.
There's no excuse.
No, aye.
He's basking in the sunshine. Mrs. Rankin.
Aye.
All right, we'll excuse him. Also, I just had a phone call from Ed McTighe, right, like literally 5 minutes ago. He said a pothole on Columbia Parkway blew a tire, and so he's sitting there, and he's not gonna make it tonight. So we'll.
Yeah, we almost hit that one last night.
Yeah,
I know exactly
they're
where
getting
it's
bad.
at.
You gotta be on the lookout for it. Yeah. All right, with that said, on roll call, Mr. Bartlett.
Here.
Mrs. Brown Knight.
Here.
Mrs. Geldbaugh.
Here.
Dr. Lewis.
Here.
Mrs. Rankin.
Here.
All right, we're all here. All right, the minutes. Everybody, any questions about the minutes from last meeting?
I had, sorry, there's one place where I am referred to as Mrs. Kelly. So I don't care if you don't care. I'm trying to find it. It was that important that I know exactly where it is.
There it is.
Oh, yep,
Well, I don't think that needs to change, really, does it?
I think we'll be fine.
Yeah. Anybody else?
It's better than Mr.
All right, I don't really, I guess it's in there, I don't see it. All right, a motion and a second to accept the minutes, please.
So moved.
Here,
Second.
second. Mr. Bartlett.
I will abstain since I was not here.
That's right. Mrs. Brown Knight.
Approved.
Mrs. Geldbaugh.
Aye.
Aye. Dr. Lewis.
Aye.
Mrs. Rankin.
Aye.
Miss Kelly.
That's Mrs. Kelly to you.
Okay, fine. Okay. All right, in communications, we have the spending request for the fireworks. I think you've all seen that. It's, the fireworks went up. It's gonna go up this year a little bit. I think it's a couple $1,000, actually. It's gonna go up. Obviously, we're gonna be, getting donations, so the village will not be footing that entire amount. I can never predict, though, what the level of contributions will be, so I think, we need to prepare ourselves, we might be spending in the neighborhood of anywhere from, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 for the fireworks.
You're not going to make up the gap?
Hey, I did my part.
Waiting on you.
I did my part already.
Yeah.
So that's a Monday. Will they be held on the 3rd or actually on the 4th?
No, I think we'll do it on a Sunday, I
Okay.
believe.
No, I think on the 4th.
Which is a Monday.
Oh, we're gonna do it on the Monday?
Okay.
Okay, okay.
Kids are out of school. They can see
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's
are they
true.
out of
That's
school
true.
on the 5th?
July.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
so
yeah,
I-
yeah, you're right.
No, they're going year-round now.
They're going here.
Not in Marymount.
Okay, so we're all in agreement about
Learning
the
curve.
spending a little money for the fireworks.
Yep.
Okay, I have a letter here from Grant Carnes regarding the Porsche rally. Mr. Carnes and I spoke on the phone a week or so ago. He would, of course, like to redo the Porsche rally again this coming year. And, he was pleased with the outcome of the event last time around. We had a fairly good participation in it and so on and so forth. The only fly in the ointment here a little bit is that, this particular year, although he kind of made it clear last year, he will not, the Porsche organization or people putting on the rally will not be able to participate in any way with the expense of putting it on.
Ouch.
And that is anywhere from, say, $2,500 to $3,000 for the overtime for the police detail and the extras of setting it up and so on and so forth. So I think some consideration should be given to this because, you know, we run the risk here of possibly of sort of, you know, setting a bad precedent, because we do have other events, you know, the 5K, the Warrior Run, and so on and so forth, where they shoulder the expense of the burden of putting it on. So, now I haven't spoke with him in detail in terms of, does he have a fallback plan? I mean, is there a way that he could raise this kind of money so that we could put this on? Well, let me ask, I mean, is this an event that we would like to continue with?
I think it's good to continue, but I totally agree with you, Bill. I don't think we can foot the bill. I mean,
We
again,
have
we
to have
have
a-
everyone else pay their share when they do.
Right.
Yeah, we have to be
exactly.
consistent about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
I
an
will-
inconsistency here is,
Totally agree.
Yeah, I agree with
Be
you. I
trouble,
right.
worry about that
And
precedent.
when you say
that
they're
was-
not going to do the setup, who's going to do the setup then?
well, they participate a little bit in the setup, but I mean, our fine police force, my own son donated, I don't know, a dozen hours into this setup,
Yeah.
you know, last time around.
Yeah,
Now,
Cl-
he may be willing to do at least some of that again, but nevertheless, we do have to pay overtime to the police officers to run this.
Right.
And that has to be met.
Yeah, Mayor, I can't, and like you said, I can't justify not charging them for the police services when, you know, the school pays for the extra details, the Flying Pig pays for the extra details,
Kiwanis.
the Kiwanis, the Warrior Run, so on and so forth. Many other organizations pay for that, and I can't justify, it wouldn't be right not to have them pay and use taxpayer money for that when other events pay for that. So I just don't
Right.
think it'd be prudent to use the taxpayers' money
Agreed.
for that, so.
Okay.
Hopefully, they can come up with another way to pay for those details, but I just can't in good faith not bill them for them.
Maybe they could sell rides in a Porsche. People would pay for that.
It's up to
wouldn't they?
them.
I'll get back with Mr. Carnes. I've already sort of expressed the desire that this is an event that we would like to see continue in our village, but we are going to have to do something about how we pay for it. We just can't have the taxpayer footing the bill here.
And
Okay.
Bill, if you don't mind, because we did have a problem last year that they had it on Saturday and Sunday, that we had a problem in the parking lot for the farmer's market.
Okay.
So they do need to be made aware that they cannot park in the school parking lot on that Sunday.
Okay. I think they brought cars in early, I believe. I mean, the
Yeah.
actual event was on the Sunday.
I don't remember if it was Saturday and Sunday, but we had problems with parking
Okay.
for
Well,
that.
nevertheless.
But yeah, just if
never-
you have a chance to talk to him about that, or
think
I
it-
can talk to him
I think
about
it was
it.
just one day, but,
It was a one-day event, but I mean,
But if
like I
it's
said,
Sunday,
there
it's
there
still a
was
problem.
some preliminary setup and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll do that.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, you've seen the communication from the tax office. Which, by the way, of course, as most of you know, we now have a new tax administrator, Chuck Barlow, who is moving into the role, and of course, he's really just into his first week yet, so I was not going to have him come in here tonight. I'll have him come next council and introduce himself. We're very fortunate to get him. He was the tax administrator over in Norwood, and given the circumstances under which this whole situation arose, I feel like we were fortunate. But we'll meet him next time around. Do you have any questions regarding the statements? All right. All right, permission to address council. Mr. Copeland.
How are we tonight?
Do we want to bring the podium center again? Or you like it in the corner? Okay. It's just hard for
Yeah,
people
then we
sitting
can't
over
see
there.
you.
I don't want you to.
Your smiling faces.
okay.
Nobody
Dan,
puts-
please,
nobody puts Copeland in the corner.
we'll welcome you into the corner, and I would appreciate it if the crowd would keep it down.
Nobody puts Chief Copeland in the corner.
I get it. Well, how are we this evening? I'm here in front of you as the fire department representative for the fire service, and we are looking back in November of last year after the Kramer report came out. We came up with some different ways of some cost savings and moving things into combining services into one thing, and we think we have found a vehicle that's going to allow us to do that. Put a committee together of your firemen, your officers, and all the way down to your firefighters and paramedics. And what we came up with was a mini pumper. I don't want to be up here forever, so I made you guys some bulletin points and put it down on writing for you. I'll take one and pass these around here. So what we have found is we're looking for a mini pumper, one on top of one on the bottom. The mini pumper was specifically named into the Kramer report. We have exhausted looking for new and used. Since I started this process just in December, some of these companies have changed on the new end and have raised the price by 8%. I have that paperwork over here. We found a company by the name of Fouts Brothers that has a truck that would be available by May for us at a substantially less cost savings to the village for just under $250,000. In there, I've also contacted and I've got some information from the bank that we use to finance the ambulance company, and looking forward to putting this into committee and seeing if we can move ahead with a purchase of this truck. And if you need comparables, I have that, and if you need my back and forth with some of these, as soon as I said that, I looked, the price increases already came, and just for, I don't know if they can't find things or work on.
Okay,
the
Dan,
items
so
they
as,
need.
as I understand it then, this truck is available, it's still at the manufacturer?
Yes, and it's actually on the line right now. I have that paperwork here for you guys to look at to turn
So I
over.
mean, it's essentially finished being built and.
It's finished being
so
built,
forth.
it'll be ready by,
If I may, this particular truck will come off the line towards the end of May, beginning of June. If we can move forward with this in a timely fashion, that truck can be ours by the summer, which would be absolutely incredible.
Okay.
If we, if it takes time and that unit sells, they have an additional chassis that they can start production on basically when this one is done. So in June, when this truck is done, they would then be able to start another one. So you'd be looking at a 3-month process from that point. So if we move forward with the contract, then that particular unit will have our audit when it comes off the assembly line.
Sure.
and what we found, when I went through E1, they've given us a quoted time from the time that we decide to do this as a village of 17 to 18 months to build it. Went through Pierce Manufacturing. They have had about an 8% increase of all their services, and that was just last month, and they're looking at 17 to 18 months to it. So we just happened to come across this truck while we were looking through all the rest of them, and this one is being built and hits a lot of the check marks that this village needs. And I think you're going to run into this with police cars and lead times of everything that we got. Where the savings is going to be in this truck is it's going to take that $1 million piece of fire apparatus and not make it chase EMS calls, turn around on, right now, if we get a gas call, they have to hop in the $1 million fire truck, take it up to Spring Hill.
Yeah.
Turn it around, trying to preserve the life of that truck a little bit more and actually combining 3 vehicles into one. So we're gonna take the ambulance, the pumper truck, and the district car and put them all into one vehicle that this village can use and have at their disposal.
Okay.
So,
All right, well, I mean, obviously, we need to go into it in a lot more detail, and that will be done, in committee. But the one thing I want to understand, though, is that I'm a teeny bit confused here. I mean, is time of the element here, or a factor here of essence?
it can be, yes. I mean, if this is something we want to move ahead with, they've already printed off the paperwork for us. I've been in good contact with them. If we miss this one, then we would have to wait another 6 weeks to 7 weeks and start working on the process all over again.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
that's kind of where we're at.
Okay.
Would we be susceptible to a price increase if we did that? Okay.
We could. Right now, they did not have that projected for the time that we're looking and the time frame that we have in front of us now.
Is there a date that they've inferred they need an answer by to completely commit to us, or we kind of have a handshake agreement?
if I may.
Hey, truck committee.
I spoke to their sales representative, middle of last week. Said that we had this meeting on Monday, hopeful that we could at least have, be able to have a temperature check, so to speak, and give that back to him. They don't do holds, so they wouldn't take a deposit from us, but once the contract is in place, that truck is ours, and he was willing to kind of give us a few days' time to kind of see where everybody is.
Okay. I'm going to put this into Mr. Bartlett's committee, the Finance Committee, with the stipulation, Rob, that you sort of, kind of get to this
Yeah.
as quickly as you can, so that we can,
So, Dan, you said it was 250, 240? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
I've got the price.
The actual price, if I may, sir, is $249,000 the button. If you'd like to take a look.
249.
Would anybody like this is the actual contract, you know, it wants
That's
the-
If I could just eyeball it, I don't need to keep
Well, and
it.
then, I discussed this a little bit with Bill, and he implied that once we had this piece of equipment, we could actually use it to generate some revenue.
Yes. So right now, the stuff that came from the ambulance, we're going to put into this truck. So if our ambulance is at Jewish Hospital, we would still respond, but now we have all the ALS equipment from the ambulance we're going to put in that truck. So we're going to be able to we left money on the table before with the third-party billing company. We will be able to turn revenue with this vehicle. While they're waiting for the ambulance, we'll be able to start all the stuff that we need to do to start care for that person at that time. So,
So we're looking at somewhere around $90,000 more than what we brought in
87.5.
from the two vehicles that we
87.5.
sold. 87.5, okay. And we were projected, had we not sold the pumper, to replace it when, in 25?
it was put in on the 10-year plan, but we moved it from 2022, which was 500,000. We moved it to 2027, I think, and that went up it went up to 750,000
obviously-
at that time.
Obviously, we won't have to do that in 2027, so this will save us $500,000 in the long haul then.
But one of the things, though, that Tim had put in there was instead of buying a new one, we'd re-platform. It was only going to be like $175,000 to re-platform the Quint. You know, in that 10-year projection thing he did?
The Quint or the pumper? The
The
Quint's the
pumper's
ladder
right?
truck.
The pumper's
Yeah,
gone.
Yeah,
Pumper's gone.
that's what we
Yeah,
sold the pumper
the Quint's
and the
gonna be probably-
ambulance. We sold the pumper and the ambulance to try and generate
right.
most of the money to buy this mini pumper, because
Right.
Bill Kramer had said he thought that would, and obviously it's a great piece of equipment for the village, because that thing's gonna be, it'll be easy to get in the lanes and so on and so forth, and, so.
I guess that's my
but
question,
I was wanting
as
to-
an accessibility, where the ladder truck can't go necessarily, that this could go.
And
Because
just
of
to
its
let
size.
just to let you guys know, I'm trying to keep this brief. I went through and did comparables. This one came available on Friday. It's in San Antonio, Texas. By the time I called them back, it was already sold. This truck is a 2015, and if you're looking from here back, it's everything that we need in a fire truck. And for a 2015, they wanted $229,000 for a 2015. So, yeah, so I have some comparables here. I'll give them to the mayor.
yeah.
Do you have any kind of idea of what you might generate annually? And, just a range?
Right now, from the Med account, they're thinking that we could bring in an extra 20,000 a year, just from the way that we restructure our billing that came out. We had a 4% increase just last year alone in our billing and revenues brought in. So, there's some things, we're cutting some edges and trying to be fiscally responsible with some of this. And I've talked to the bank, and they remembered us from when we talked to them
The
about
ambulance?
the ambulance. So, yeah, they knew us well. So I have those comparisons, but in the shuffle of everything.
Well, let's not go too far into the weeds on this. I think we should save some of the details, obviously, we're gonna want a thorough talk, in the committee meeting.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be good, when we schedule a finance committee meeting, to have that stuff ahead
Okay.
of time for
Yeah.
that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
First time ever doing this, so be gentle.
Yeah.
I just had one thing just to clarify on the handout that we gave you, the stapled pages, the top one being the mini pumper. I went ahead and added two, if you were to go this alone and try to search, use fire equipment, and that might help kind of explain what things are, because they all look very similar. There's a brush truck and a quick attack that would all come on that, Ford or, Chrysler, whoever's 3/4 ton or 1 ton truck chassis. That just kind of spells out a little bit the differences and why we feel like the mini pumper is the way to go for our department, as opposed to some of the other options that might look similar but be drastically less money. That
Yeah.
just explains the
Right.
differences.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Okay, Rob, you got it, and we can hopefully get to it.
Yeah. So the three of us, so. yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
We're all
Okay.
around, right? Nobody's out of
yep,
town?
yep.
Yeah.
I've got a couple appointments, on days, but other than that, I'm clear.
All right, we good with that?
We can
All
even
right.
decide afterwards if you want to do that real quick.
Yeah, I don't have my work calendar, so no.
Okay. Well, we're on the topic of committee assignments. I've already spoken with Susan about this. We have the issue of the Airbnbs within the village has sort of rearisen. I'm going to be putting that issue into her committee. I've already supplied her with a bunch of information. And again, wanting to stress, time is sort of, of the essence here. We do have a House bill pending, which may limit or diminish our ability to regulate and control these things, so,
Just updated the agenda for next Monday.
okay.
Yeah, and who knows how long that House bill could take, which, if it could take forever.
months or
it might-
years, you
yeah,
don't know, and it could be challenged, but on the other hand,
Let's get ready for
I
it.
don't want to lose our ability to have a say, on that,
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
and what
Could,
goes on.
and I have not read the House bill, but is it possible that it could trump a local ordinance? In other words, does it trump it regardless of whether we pass it or not?
It could,
It could. We have a thing, municipalities have a thing, structured the way that we are, statutory village, called home rule, which gives us the ability basically to regulate much that goes on within our village. But the Ohio Revised Code, in a lot of instances, sort of trump local codes. So, it's, I have the feeling if a House bill like that passed, trying to significantly limit a municipality's ability to do something, it's going to be challenged. And, before it would be completely settled. But nevertheless, this is an issue now that's, beginning to, come up within the village. And I don't want to sit back and just, not do anything.
Okay.
No, okay,
Thank you.
okay. All right, motion to pay the bills. Any question regarding the bills? Kind of straightforward this month.
yep. Okay. I move we pay the bills.
Second?
Second? All right. Mr. Bartlett?
Aye.
Mrs. Brown Knight?
Aye.
Mrs. Geldbaugh?
Aye.
Dr. Lewis?
Aye.
Mrs. Rankin?
Aye.
All right, we'll pay the bills. I don't believe we have any committees tonight, do we?
No,
Our reports? Well, we're going to make up for it later.
Rob was out of town.
Yeah, Rob's- Yeah. All right. Under miscellaneous, obviously, the Outstanding Citizens Award. We still need nominations. We're still accepting nominations for that. Send them in to Joni.
What's the deadline?
March the 10th,
Okay.
it's coming up. Yeah. So I want to be giving that out this year at the parade on Memorial Day.
Why are you looking at me?
Well, I'm not really, just that, last couple of years, we've not been able to do that. That's my point.
And that's,
I want to get back to it. So get those recommendations in.
Pandemic is completely your fault, apparently.
Well, we're not going to blame it all on her.
blame it on the medical field.
Yeah.
Are we following the last last couple of years for the Memorial Day. Are we doing the Memorial Day parade instead of the traditional Memorial Day service?
Well, you know, I mean, given
I
the,
heard some people last year saying they thought that there was more participation with everybody in the village by the emergency vehicles leading the parade through the
Oh,
streets. So
right.
people would
Yeah.
be out on their
Oh, yeah.
porches and so on and so forth, but I didn't know if, I guess that's something that needs to be decided.
it's something,
how
it's
long it's gonna
yet to be
before we
determined, right, we haven't exactly worked it out.
It definitely makes a difference in how we, as a police department, plans for that.
Sure. Well,
Huh.
I mean, I think some of us might like to get back to the parade, we might like to get back to the speakers, we do the Citizen of the Year Award, we have a bunch of things like that. We might have essay contests with children, like people gather out,
I mean, obviously, that's
No.
your
No.
Well,
your
could we do
decision.
the
It just
parade
needs
with
to
the,
be made sooner
with
than
the
later.
fire trucks and police cars and then still,
Yeah, we could, yeah,
Do
it could be
the-
it could be a
Yeah.
hybrid model of some kind, sure, sure,
people seem to be receptive to the
to that,
vehicle parade versus the,
sure. Well, we don't want to, got a little time yet, work out these details. All right, recommendations for the nominations for the village strategy session. Rod, you want to tell us where we are on that?
Well, I thought this was gonna be resolved actually last meeting, so I was surprised it's
Well,
still
I
on the
mean,
agenda.
well, it was worked on, it was talked about. I mean, we, some of us submitted some names, some of us made some calls. But I do think that according to the last sheet that Kelly just handed out, we might be down a couple of participants here, and we might need some more.
Yeah, no, that's why I thought we were gonna do it last week, because I thought there might be some people who said, no, I can't do it, and then we need to have Plan B lined up. So, anyway, so I got Randy's, everyone's got the sheets here, right? Randy's sheet, my recommendations, Susan put a name in here, and then Kelly, you've got one you just put on our desk right here, right?
yes.
And I brought some names to fill in some of the holes that I saw based on what everybody else did.
Okay. Okay, so we talked about trying to hit certain areas, so I think we've already, mayor's definitely, that's a done deal. And I'm looking at Randy's sheet, I'm going, because those have the groupings.
Yeah,
Right.
that's fine.
I don't know, you sound like you guys said that I would be the person for council, just looking at the meeting notes, is that,
Yes.
okay. And then the Square retail business owner, Bill, I thought you were gonna be talking to somebody,
Yes.
yeah?
Yeah, well, I have talked to Mr. Spinnenweber, and I don't have a definite answer there. And I also, I've called the Mary Elders now 3 times. They're, they like to nap or something, but I'll get right back on that in the morning.
Well, because Randy had some other people, like, Lisa Hopkins.
Yeah, from
Yeah, from the Exemplar.
From the Exemplar.
And Jennifer Dagerberg, so.
Yeah.
But, so, again, let me step back. We're scheduled for this coming Saturday. We need to get this done.
Right.
Starts at 9 o'clock, and we need to get the people lined up for this. So, Bill, are you gonna take care of getting one of those 3?
Yes.
Or, yeah, okay.
Well,
so
I'll
that's-
get, like I said, I'm gonna do the Mary Elders.
Mary Elders were on the list.
Yeah, they
Oh,
are.
there it is at the bottom, I see
Yeah.
it, I see it at the bottom. Okay, so I'm putting your name next to that. And then, you're gonna try and find one of the Square retail business owners, right?
I'll do that. If you want me to, I'll check with Paul Mays.
Does he have the Square? He has a business? Let's just go down the list.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
You're
you're right.
jumping the
I'm
list.
jumping way down to the bottom. Go ahead.
So then we talked about the Old Square, the Old Town Square business owner, and we have Karen Fallon. I don't know if there's anybody else
Is
who,
she's in the old square?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
she moved.
Oh, okay.
I can call Karen, she's my
Oh,
neighbor.
that's a good call, chief.
So Leah, you've got that?
I'll call Karen, yeah.
Chief Hines mentioned somebody.
Build a camp.
Build a camp, yeah, they got a business over there.
Not anymore.
No,
She
she
moved
moved
to the
over.
main square.
Yeah, she's moved to the main square now. So is Bill DeCamp would be our fallback? Does anyone know Bill DeCamp? I
Well,
don't know.
Randy does, but I don't know if Randy's trying to get a hold of anybody or
Just in
not.
ca-
Let
just in
me,
case.
Randy's on vacation.
yes.
Yeah, we shouldn't plan on Randy, it's just, yeah.
No, I was gonna say, I could see if he, I mean, I can get a hold of Bill DeCamp.
Do you know him?
I don't, I know him because Randy knows him because we're talking about the lights.
Yeah, so.
So,
but
I have an in.
Let's, Leah, if you can check with Karen first.
Yes, I will check
And then
with
once we
Karen.
find out if it's a no from Karen, then if you can do.
Okay.
So Bill's gonna be our backup, and that's Kelly's gonna be the person if
Yep.
Karen says no.
Yep.
Marymount rental property owner, sounds like you've talked to some people, Kelly?
Rental property owner,
In the
yes,
old
and I've had 2 decline. And Bill, I believe you talked to Karen and she also declined?
Can't do it.
So Chad, are we down to?
Well, I have not heard back from Chad, but I will push that.
Okay,
I
He
mean,
was taking
I
his
don't-
kids around to colleges. I'm not sure if he's gonna be available.
okay.
That's not
Well,
definite.
I mean, if we tried that many people and we can't get somebody, I guess that will have to be vacant. But, so Chad's our last.
I mean, if that doesn't work, I know Dennis, I could with Dennis Hamilton, I could see about Dennis. If we feel strongly about having a representative in that area, I can reach out to Chad and Dennis.
Okay.
We got an email.
So Kelly, I got your name
About
next to that
which
one then
one?
for those
Mhm.
two.
Have so many emails.
And then we had for a renter, over there, Randy put Janet Zach, I had mentioned
to look
Michael
it up.
Kane, who lives over on Murray Avenue.
Right.
Um, And then, where does, Ron lives in Ron Ross for elementary? He
He's
lives
on
in-
Elm.
Okay, but he's in the historic district area.
He is, but he's not a renter,
Right, good point, I'm sorry, yep,
yeah.
okay.
I mean, I talked to Cindy Lexon today, and she's a renter on Beach Street, and she said she would.
Is that Cindy what? Is that in your list here?
Lexon, yeah, that's my Leksan.
Oh, okay, okay.
She's a renter now over there?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll be damned.
yeah,
Huh,
Is
but-
Tom Lexon's?
yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, I think Michael could bring something to the
Okay, well,
table.
I'd be happy to contact Michael then.
Okay.
I've not again, I didn't contact people, I was waiting to see.
Okay,
I thought-
well, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so Michael's mine, I'll put that as first, I guess we'll have maybe Cindy Lexon as the backup.
Well,
Yeah.
and Randy told me he reached out to Janet, but I don't know, he said he was going to get a hold of her. I know he's on vacation, but I'm
Yep.
gonna steal 5 minutes of his time tomorrow.
Yep, okay, so again, I'm reaching out to Michael first. Kelly, you're gonna be the backup then to check with Cindy and.
Well,
Jan-
Cindy
Janet.
has said she
Yeah,
can.
yeah, okay, but
Okay.
check with Randy on Janet, so that's your follow-up. Bill, did you have any luck with the industrial zone? Anybody down there?
Well, yeah, we're trying to contact the guy at the metal processing, where they had the fire.
Uh-huh.
And-
The owner or
Yeah,
Rob
and-
Ryan?
and-
Or,
I called the new plant manager at
Okay.
Kellogg, but he has not called me back. I've left 2 messages.
Yeah.
But we know the guy at the metal place, right? Okay.
Okay. Okay, I thought you were looking at me, sorry.
No.
What is his name, do we know?
Rob Ryan?
Rob Rye.
Okay.
You know him real well. don't
Bill,
you?
can I put your name next to that just to follow up?
Yeah,
So it runs, have Dan run through you?
sure. Yeah.
Okay.
And what's the official name of that business? Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Then the next grouping we had was Marymount Preschool Parents Group. Randy had Ashley Crosh, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. I also found, there's somebody else who I've met who's a member of Marymount Preschool Parents. She has 2 kids, ages 5 and a year and a half. Her name's Erica Fay. She lives in Brueggemann's old house,
Oh,
right over there on East Street. So, and they have actually, it's her husband who expressed an interest, but then he thought it might be better to have his wife because she's in the preschool parents group and stuff like that, so.
yeah, I haven't come across anybody for that group, so does that sound like a solid?
Yeah, it's a solid.
Oh, good.
So you want me to go ahead and say yes for that for now?
Yeah,
then?
well, I don't know, what does everybody else think? I mean, I
Yeah.
think if we have someone and we think they're good, we go for it.
If we have a yes, we go for it.
Yeah, let's take all the yeses.
Down to if we have a yes.
I do think we have
Okay,
to
so that's a yes. We
consider
got
a
a yes
plan B.
there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Rob,
Yes.
what's her name again, please?
Her name is Erica Fay.
Okay, thank you.
And then next one we got to was the elementary school parent. We had Kristen Semberg, Danielle Trepepi. don't think she goes by Trapeze.
And that's where Ron Ross would,
Okay. And
And he has-
did Randy talk to these two people?
I
know
don't believe so.
if- Okay.
The last I heard, he
But you
has
said
not.
Ron Ross has replied yes.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay,
And-
so you
and
want to
I've
make that
got
a
my-
yes?
my
Is he
neighbors.
elementary or
Oh,
for?
which group that
Elementary.
is that? Is that
They're the-
elementary or is that middle school?
No, that's elementary.
Ron Ross? Rob Ross.
Okay.
Ron, R-O-N-N.
Okay.
So we have two people for, actually right now, so we need to, that have
Okay.
both said, yes, they're interested in doing it, correct? Because you said your neighbor is interested?
Yeah, I don't know, like I said, I gotta nail down whether they're gonna commit to it.
Okay, well, but
Okay.
again, we have a definite yes with Ron?
And yes, yeah. And I don't know if you remember when he,
We need two though, right?
No,
no,
because
not,
we're,
no,
one.
right, for some reason Randy's got that in there. I guess just leave options open.
yeah,
But Ron worked on some stuff with the trail. And if you recall, in our previous safety committee, which I guess at this point in time, I'm the only one here, he had come in and done that presentation about doing the crosswalks and whatnot.
Oh,
Yeah,
with
he-
the
he's,
simulated brick and
yeah,
painted brick.
but my point is, he's
Yeah,
smart and thorough, and he seemed very receptive to the idea, so.
okay.
okay, so we got a definite yes there, so we'll go ahead and take that? Is
As
that
far
okay
as
with you,
I'm
Bill?
concerned.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, let's take something up Bill's plate.
yeah.
Okay. Going down now, we were looking for, that was the elementary school, there's middle school parent. We don't have, there's nobody listed here as a middle school parent.
I'll find one. I've got it.
Okay, so we'll put
Will do.
your name in.
I'll try and find a middle school.
What are the hours on the 5th again?
It's from 9 o'clock in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. And it's gonna be over at the Parish Center, right? You've
That's correct.
Lined up the room and.
Top floor,
Top floor.
so you can jump when it gets too arduous.
I can't take it anymore.
Bill and I checked.
boxed lunch will be served.
We actually checked,
Yeah, yeah. And Bill, I'll bring some breakfast stuff too.
Yeah.
Bagels and coffee, and then we'll have a box lunch.
so Bill and I checked the logistics of the jump. There's a very low survival rate.
Okay.
Where did they say?
I'll wear my bouncy shoes.
Parish Center?
Okay, so Leah, got your name
I'll
next to
get,
that
yeah,
one?
I'll do the middle.
Then for the high school parent, Jeff Andrews' name was on here. I don't know that anybody else has any other names.
I had one and I asked her, but I got a no, so I didn't even put it down.
Okay. I don't
I mean,
know.
if you want to know who it is, and she said no, I mean,
No.
I don't
Let's
expect
not,
then.
let's not put that out there.
Okay. Well, let's see where we shake out, because I'm looking at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if we have a high school parent, I think we're gonna be almost at 13, I think. And if that's, we said 12, but I think we could push if we need to, but let's hold on that for now. Marymount resident over 60, Bobby Baylor, I think that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
And you said she's interested, you've
She,
talked to her?
I asked her about it, and she definitely expressed an interest. I
Okay.
confirm that up tomorrow.
Okay,
Where does she live?
She is
On Crystal Springs.
on Crystal
Okay.
Springs.
right where East Street dead ends. and
Okay.
The end.
With the
end.
light, with the duct tape on one side of it.
Okay, so that sounds pretty strong
You
for
know
that
where I
one.
mean.
Um,
And then now we've gotten the Mary Elders bill. You can go ahead and,
Like I said, I've tried 3 times. I will reconnect.
Go in there with some muffins.
Well, do we,
Well, so we weren't doing,
The
we're-
person
weren't
yeah.
doing the muffins temporarily.
well, if that falls through, Bill, I mean,
Marymount resident.
Rob, I want to ask you a question, excuse me. So we have down here Mary Elders and then 3 Marymount, well, a total of Mary Elders and then 2 Marymount residents over 60. But it sounds like our numbers are getting kind of
yeah, well,
high.
we're just gonna have 1 over 6, well, originally 1 over 60, but,
I think
Well, I
Randy-
just, well, the reason I'm saying is I think it'd be helpful to have somebody from the condos. And I have at least 4 people I could contact if we're interested in pursuing that.
okay.
That would fit condos and over 60?
Yeah, well, I'm assuming.
Well, I
You
mean, we
have a
don't,
distinguished member right here in the
Yes.
room tonight.
well, let's clarify
Well, how do you
this.
know he's not on my
Run,
list?
run away.
Can we clarify something?
What are you
'Cause
doing
I
next
think there
Saturday?
might be some confusion about how many
Yeah, 'cause I think
we
we
need.
only had 1 from that
It's one
60.
for each. I think Randy just left slots open to fill names in for
Oh.
choices. But for each of these categories, it's just 1 each.
Yeah.
So if
Oh,
we've got it
gotcha.
filled, we don't need to have further conversation.
All right.
We don't have it filled. We have a name written down on a piece of paper.
Well,
That's
some
all
of them
we've
are,
got.
though. Some of them are definitely yeses.
All right, all right.
Okay, so Bill's trying to follow up with Mary Elders. And I do think we have the one for 60 right now with Bobby, it sounds like, and Kelly's gonna confirm that,
Yeah.
right? And then Marymount Preservation Foundation, Randy put Paul Mace. I was wondering if Rex Beavis would be somebody too.
Yeah, I
Wanna
could
consider.
definitely call Rex. I could definitely do that.
You know, because he's president still?
He is.
Has anybody talked to Paul?
Well, I talked to him not about this. I mean,
Okay.
saw him at the meeting on
Well,
Thursday, but.
you've got a lot of calls. Do you want me to handle Marymount you want me to handle MPF since?
Yeah, if you want to take that, since it's going to, shaking down these.
I'll start with Rex and then I'll follow up with Paul.
Okay, so that'll be the backup, yeah, Rex,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
And so we've got, Marcy's gonna be handling that representation.
So how many firm yeses do we have?
So okay, good question. I wrote down here, so Bill and myself are firm yeses. I'm going down the list, I'm not seeing any firm yeses until we get to Ron Ross, and that was, which one, he's a elementary school.
Marymount
right?
elementary parent, and then preschool parents, you said Erica Fay
Yes, yes.
is a yes. Okay.
So,
Those first two appear to be a yes.
so we only have, and then Bobby Baylor's a strong yes, theoretically.
That's correct.
So that's 5 out of the 12 so far. But we have people lined up, we just need to have the backups. Where can we, because, you know, I think Susan had a good thing about here, the accessibility conversation.
Did you contact her?
I did. Now, I contacted her 3 weeks ago, and she could do it on March 5th, so I just want to confirm, but she knew the commitment and said she could do it.
I think that's a great idea. If she will, that accessibility is a great point to have included.
So I'm happy to
I mean, we
ask
could-
her, confirm. She
Yeah,
did.
that'd be good, because I think we need to ask the question. I'm assuming and hopeful that we'll get as many people as we need, but if for some reason, like, what's our point that we say we need to reschedule? If we only have like 5 out of 12 people,
That would be a problem, yes. I agree.
I mean, I just think it would
Yeah.
be
Well,
useful to
I
have that
almost-
number.
I almost threw that out to Mike,
Oh, that's right.
but I decided that if I needed to, I'd wait till after tonight, because I didn't want
Yeah.
to like scare him and have him,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, we hate
that's
to
a
do
big
it.
time commitment if you're gonna get them signed up this week.
right.
9 to
it's-
3, people
but it's
probably
more
already
than-
have their Saturdays.
Yeah.
Yeah,
figured
especially
out.
like the elementary and middle school parent, I mean, that's gonna
Because
be,
it's basketball season, there's
Yeah.
all sorts of different activities.
Can you
That's always on the
email
weekend.
What you have
Um,
to everybody, and then can everybody copy everybody and include me, so I'll know
Yeah, what you got.
what we've got?
Yeah, that's right.
Because right now, the
I'll
minutes
ask.
don't reflect
Yeah,
Chaos.
firm people.
yeah.
Okay.
Isn't there another meeting on top of the March 5th meeting? Is it just March 5th?
Well,
Yeah.
we talked about trying to get people beforehand together, just to
Okay,
prep them for it, but that hasn't happened either, so.
I'm checking with Kathleen. Okay.
And Chief just brought up a good point, I think, again, the high school parent, he's just saying the boys' basketball is playing sectionals.
Yeah, I think it's sectionals. They're still in the tournament, and they're going to be playing at UC on Saturday in the tournament. So I would imagine there's gonna be a lot of residents, I would think, following that team.
Yeah, but
Yeah, to the
to your
game.
point, it made the high school, if we have to maybe, I could follow up with Jeff Andrews, I, know him pretty well. And, but let's hold that off, okay? We can
If
hold
we
that off.
can't have that slot filled,
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, so let me pick back what I
I'm
got
seeing here,
here,
Kathleen.
just make sure we're on the same page. And then I will put it in an email as well to Joni's request there. So we have Bill, myself, Bill's gonna get somebody hopefully from the square, this square, for retail business owner. Leah, you're gonna check with Karen
Karen, yeah.
Fallon. The backup for that will be Bill DeCamp. Kelly, you're gonna, if we can't get Karen, then you're gonna be the person for that. For the property owner, Chad is the primary and Dennis Hamilton's the backup. Kelly, you're gonna check with both of those. You'll take care of that, right?
that is correct.
Marymount renter, we said Michael Kane is primary, that's me. I will follow up with him to see if he's willing to do that. And then we'd have, I guess Janet could be the backup for that. So I know
Yeah, I know-
Janet also.
Yeah, I know Janet.
Do you wanna, okay.
I mean,
I don't have her contact information. Do you have that? No, she's in a phone.
I
book,
asked
sure.
Randy to share it with me. I'm not sure he
Okay.
did.
So Kelly, I'm gonna put you as.
So one way or another, Randy's getting a call from me tomorrow.
Yeah. So, again, I'll take care of Michael Kane. You're gonna be following, if need be for a backup, Janet, it's gonna be you.
Okay.
The industrial district, Bill, you're working on Rob Rye. You'll be
Well,
hearing
yeah,
from
yeah.
Dan.
Dan.
Yep,
Yeah.
he'll let us know. Preschool Parents Group, we got Erica, and I will reconfirm with her, that was just a couple days ago, so I don't think it's gonna change, but I just wanna make sure. Elementary school parent, Ron Ross, seems to be pretty firm, but you'll finalize that as well, Kelly. Leah, you're gonna find a middle school parent?
Yeah.
And then we're gonna hold off on the high school parents for right now. Bobby Baylor for over 60, and then Susan, you're gonna check with
I'm checking. That's what I'm
Kathleen
doing right now. Yeah.
Kale from an accessibility.
Yeah.
Mary Elder's Bill's gonna continue to call there. Yeah.
Just to say hi.
And then Marcy, you're gonna try Rex first for MPF representative,
Yes.
Rex, and then
Yep.
Paul will be the backup,
Yep.
and if neither one of those two, whoever, I mean, I trust you.
Pick somebody up?
I
Yeah.
trust you to pick somebody else who would be
They're
good,
all awesome people.
so.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the list.
All right. Hopefully I hear from Kathleen in a second.
Okay, so are we all good here?
As good as it gets, I guess.
There goes it gets. All right, Tony, moving on to resolutions. And we've got a lot to get through here tonight, so bear with me.
All right, first one, to confirm the reappointment of Christopher M. Ertl as the village engineer for calendar years 2021 and 2022 with the set compensation.
All right, that's the second reading. Any discussion? I think we all pretty much know what that is. Correct?
Correct.
We good?
Good.
All right, Tony.
All right, authorizing the village of Marymount to participate in the Southwest Ohio Regional Refuse Consortium and to declare emergency.
Okay, that is the second reading that we just had, so I need a motion and a second to suspend the rules and allow for the third reading.
So moved.
Second.
Second, okay, Mr. Bartlett.
Aye.
Mrs. Brown Knight.
Aye.
Mrs. Gelbaugh.
Aye.
Dr. Lewis.
Aye.
Mrs. Rankin.
Aye.
All right, may we have the third reading, please?
Authorizing the village of Marymount to participate in the Southwest Ohio Regional Refuse Consortium and to declare emergency.
All right, I need a motion and a second to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Bartlett.
Aye.
Mrs. Brown Knight.
Aye.
Mrs. Gelbaugh.
Aye.
Dr. Lewis.
Aye.
Mrs. Rankin.
Aye.
All right, I need a motion and a second to evoke the emergency clause, please.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Bartlett.
Aye.
Mrs. Brown Knight.
Aye.
Mrs. Gelbaugh.
Aye.
Dr. Lewis.
Aye.
Mrs. Rankin.
Aye.
All right, that will be adopted on emergency.
All right, next one, to authorize the solicitation of bids for 2022 street repairs and to declare emergency.
All right, again, I need a motion and a second to suspend the rules and allow for the third.
Third.
Third, yeah.
is it
Well,
the-
we just had the second
Second,
reading.
sorry, okay, for the third reading.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Bartlett.
Aye.
Mrs. Brown
Aye.
Knight.
Aye.
Aye. Ms. Gelbaugh.
Aye.
Dr. Lewis.
Aye.
Mrs. Rankin.
Aye. We can drop an octave.
I'm dropping one.
What is that?
All right, I need a motion and a second to adopt the
Yeah,
resolution.
we need the third reading.
Oh, I'm sorry, I need the third
All
reading.
right, to authorize the solicitation of bids for 2022 street repairs and to declare emergency.
All right, now, motion and a second to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Bartlett.
Aye.
Mrs. Brown Knight.
Aye.
Mrs. Gelbaugh.
Aye.
Or, did I say Mr., Mrs.?
It's close
Mrs.
enough. I know what
Sorry,
you meant.
Dr. Lewis. I'm trying to do this kind of quick. Mrs. Rankin.
Aye.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, I need a motion and a second now to evoke the emergency clause.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Bartlett.
Aye.
Mrs. Brown Knight.
Aye.
Mrs. Gelbaugh.
Aye.
I gotta slow down. Dr. Lewis.
Aye.
Mrs. Rankin.
Aye.
All right, that'll be adopted. All right, we're on to,
The next one, the last resolution, to increase the tennis fees for the 2022 season.
okay, that's the first reading. We'll have the second reading next, council. I think that's it on the resolutions, if I'm correct.
That's correct.
All right, moving on to the ordinances.
All right, to delete in their entirety, sections 151.115 and 151.116, solar heating, cooling, and hot water systems from the Marymount Code of Ordinances, and to include new sections 151.115 through 151.21, solar energy systems.
All right, that's the third reading. I need a motion and a second to adopt the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Bart? Mr.
Aye.
Mrs. Brown Knight?
Aye.
Ms. Gelbaugh?
Aye.
Dr. Lewis?
Aye.
Mrs. Rankin?
Aye.
All right, that'll be adopted.
All right, next one, ordinance to amend section 151.105 to address invisible fences in the Marymount Code of Ordinances.
All right, that was the third reading. I need a motion and a second to adopt the ordinance, please.
So moved.
Second.
Second. Mr. Bartlett?
Aye.
Mrs. Brown Knight?
Aye.
Mrs. Gelbaugh?
Aye.
Dr. Lewis?
Aye.
Mrs. Rankin?
Aye.
All right, that will be adopted.
All right, next one, ordinance amending section 151.091, temporary portable storage units and temporary portable toilets of the Marymount Code of Ordinances.
All right, that's, that was the third reading. I need a motion and a second to adopt the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Bartlett?
Aye.
Mrs.
Aye.
Mrs. Brown Knight?
Sorry.
Mrs. Gelbaugh?
Aye.
Dr. Lewis?
Aye.
Mrs. Rankin?
Aye.
All right,
So you're not the only one in a hurry.
I'm telling you.
I was just so excited about that.
All right,
All
next
right,
one, to confirm the reappointment of Alyssa Windler as part-time IT administrator for the calendar years 2022 and 2023, and to increase compensation.
All right, that's the second reading. Any discussion about this? Any comments about Eli's performance or work or pay?
He's doing a great job.
That's kind of quick and curt, but if that's all you've got to say.
Well, we already all voted on the pay stuff before.
I'm just saying, this is the time to make comments.
This is the time.
All right, we'll have the third reading on that next time.
All right, next one, to repeal ordinance number O-18-21 pertaining to maximum pay rates for all grades of recreational employees, and to enact new legislation pertaining to maximum pay rates for all grades of recreation employees.
All right, this, of course, is the second reading. Any discussion about this? I think we kind of did cover this. Just so we're clear, we're upgrading all of these pay rates for, you know, the swimming pool and other things, even though we're contracting with SwimSafe.
Right, but as Joni has pointed out, we are still, there's gonna be like a few swim team whatever you wanna call them.
Coaches or captains, yeah.
And so, and I agree with Joni that, you know, let's just get them updated just in case, you know, it's just, it doesn't hurt to do it. And some of them will be used because the coaches will be paid still, so.
Okay. Okay.
Can I ask where these numbers came from?
So what we've done, in the very first one is the new minimum wage that's set by Ohio. And then we've always had the same differential between increases. And so what we've done for the last at least 3 years since I've been involved with this is we change that and then just keep the same differential and just move everything up by the same amount, however much the minimum wage increased by.
Okay. And I don't fully just to understand, are we concerned about staffing? Now, some of this stuff is contracted out, so that's under the contract. Are we concerned about staffing because these pay rates do not reflect any concern about staffing, which is fine. That would be a lovely place to be, so.
In the past, we haven't had trouble filling the roles, but
Perfect,
but the other
okay.
thing is, like you said, now,
Yeah.
almost all the roles are gonna be handled through.
Through the
They handle,
contractor.
they handle finding the people, and they don't have to follow our salary rates, they
Yeah.
have their own, so.
Perfect, so these are
I don't think
somewhat
there's gonna be any
negligible.
concern. I mean,
Good.
you know,
I-
unless the thing was SwimSafe would go, you know, sideways or something, but no, I think we're all good.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yep, all right, I'm good to go, thank you.
All right, Tony?
All right, to amend ordinance O-21-21 of the Marymount Code of Ordinances to increase payment for employees.
All right, that's the second reading on that. Any questions regarding that? We all good with that? No? All right, third reading next time.
All right, ordinance amending chapter 150 of the Marymount Code of Ordinances regarding building regulations, general provisions.
All right, that's the first reading. We'll have the second reading next time. All right, let's run through this task list.
Well, I think you did the task list last
Yeah,
time.
we kind
Yeah.
of did.
Yeah.
I think it was the committees, we're gonna alternate.
Oh, we're gonna do committees?
Yeah, so the committees is one meeting, and then the task list is the other. And the other thing is, I know we haven't always talked about this, but typically what we've been trying to do is for people, the committee chair, to say, here's my target for when I think I'm gonna get this thing done, just so we have, so you see some of these do have target dates on them and some don't, so eventually, you don't have to do it tonight, but eventually we have been trying to set targets for each one of these. And then Joni adds it to the agenda.
All right, so does anyone want to?
Well, I think we should go, eventually, we should just go through all of these things. If people aren't quite ready for tonight, that's fine. I'm happy to go through mine.
I
You're
figured
first.
you
You
would
have
be.
anything that you want to?
Whatever, we're meeting on Monday.
Okay.
So that's basically rules and laws. We're meeting on Monday
Yeah, to
and
cover all of
getting it
that.
all.
Cover all these, what, 5 things?
The-
Yep.
The correct
Perfect.
agenda you guys.
I
are-
think you were gonna send the
I did.
revised agenda.
I revised agenda to you and to Allison. Right, it's like 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, that's.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Health and Rec, Randy's not here, right?
Right.
Yeah, but I talked to him, if you
Oh,
want
you
me
got
to
an
run
update?
through it real quick.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
great.
Okay, so walking Whiskey Creek Path and the Dale Park Hillside Conservation. Chris and I met with a fellow from Beaver Creek Hydrology, in particular about the Whiskey Creek, and it needs to come out of this committee. It is a much bigger situation than just talking about the walking path. There's some erosion issues down there. The gentleman with the Beaver Creek Hydrology has just recently sent us a report and some pictures. I think it's not a committee thing at this point in time. I think we need to get some more information with Chris and Beaver Creek Hydrology and anybody who wants to be involved in it, but we need to come up with a game plan because it's either gonna be hundreds of thousands of dollars or we break it down into what we actually want to get taken care of. But I just think those things need to come out of the Health and
Well,
Rec
it's
Committee.
gonna have to go to some committee, right? So what committee would you
Well,
recommend?
I guess that's the question is, I mean, we can,
Just go to committee of the whole.
Committee of the whole. Was there any talk
That's
about
you,
the?
Marcy.
well, I guess, well, let's think about this. I mean, right now, and maybe we should have this conversation with Chris before we do
Do you
decide
want
to
to
put it in.
on the task list and give it to Chris to kind of manage?
Yeah, and
until
put
you get
my
to the
name by
point?
it. Sure, that's a
Put it
good
on the
idea.
Task list?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
What is the
Okay.
particular?
So do you have a target date for when you think you might have a?
I don't at this point in time.
Okay.
It's we just got the report, and it was
And it's not
a
gonna be.
lot more than I think either one of us expected to
Sure.
find some of the erosion problems down there.
And that was those first 2 items, correct?
That is correct, because Dale Park Hillside is kind of in the same
It's the same.
situation.
Is it
Okay.
really? The hillside is right there by the church?
Well, we're trying to determine if it needs to have this company, Beaver Creek Hydrology, take a look at it. We kind of had a preliminary conversation about that, and Chris was gonna take a look at it and see if he thought it did need to have, a professional.
Okay. Because remember, Bill, this is when you were head of Health and Rec, and it was really just planting the hillside to create more stuff to anchor it there.
And if
things like
that's
that.
what if that's what we decide it needs to be, then
Okay, but you want to still talk to these other
Keep it.
companies?
Was the Army Corps of Engineers ever mentioned in this discussion?
in the discussion
Yeah,
about
with this
Whiskey
guy?
Creek,
Uh-huh.
yes.
Okay.
And that's the bigger part of the conversation is what we need to determine that we want to do, and then we would have to get the Army Corps of Engineers involved.
Yeah, because, I mean, this is gonna be beyond the scale and the scope of this village.
Well, right, and there are parts that the village maintenance department probably could take care of as far
Okay.
as moving some logs and stuff to clear some blocked areas.
Yeah,
But once you start getting into heavy equipment, it's a whole new ballgame. It's
Well-
Army Corps of Engineers.
yeah, okay.
On our task list.
It's on my task list.
On the task list. All right, put it on the task list.
Right.
Okay,
Okay.
so it's out of committee and
Where is it going?
the task list then.
Yeah.
And it's gonna
And
have
then we
your
can
name and
take it from
Chris's name
there.
next to it then, right?
Kelly, I potentially, Jason can walk that with you and give you
Excellent.
some expert advice.
No, that's,
Okay, I'll
More
have
the
him call
merrier.
you.
we went down there right after all the snow melted and,
Okay. And he can make a
But the
recommendation.
Dale Park was totally, like I said, it was just, this dates back to, like I said, when Bill and I were on the Health and Rec Committee together, and it was,
well, Randy,
he wants to make it more? Okay.
well, he's kind of trying to figure that out.
Okay.
You mean what to do with that hillside over by
And so he wanted Chris to look at it.
Okay.
And then I guess once Chris gives his professional opinion. But, yeah, I mean, if it's just a matter of planting some ground cover,
Well, we had a whole plan. We had a
Yeah,
whole
they
plan-
did,
plan,
yeah, they
Yeah,
drew it
Walmart
up,
did.
and they actually even had the kind of plants and everything else,
Yeah.
trying to make it
Cost
local.
and everything, really.
Yeah.
And then somehow that just, yeah.
I think, well, I think there's other things that Joe had in terms of the pool
Yeah.
and the walk, the Murray Path and everything else that sort of overwhelmed.
Sure. Okay.
So are we, want to leave it there, Kelly? What do you think? I mean, this got resolved by the Finance Committee when we said,
tomorrow. And the pool commission, what they're working on, I don't know a date, but I think he told me that, I guess they're waiting on a report from the pool commission. Are you under that?
Well, we had the meeting with them Thursday night, I believe
Yeah,
it
it
was.
was very recently, wasn't
Yeah. And, we've decided that we're not going to go ahead with that gigantic pipe replacement strategy this year. And there was a whole bunch of other things, I mean, that were essentially on there. A budget was created, we decided about the concession stand, there was a
oh,
decision.
did you? Because that was in the contract, right? It had to be decided by March.
Yeah, that's right. So the 365 group from Columbus, he's out.
Okay.
And basically, the pool company is going to take it over. And, what they're going to do there and what they're going to serve, I mean, we can still be involved in that. And there was an update, we talked about the update on the alcohol at pool and trying to get the secondary insurance coverage. That's the biggest impediment to doing that. We don't really have an answer to that yet. There's a particular piece of software called eSoft Membership and Daily Tracking Tool. And I think that they're going to go ahead with that. It's not super expensive, and it seems to be a very efficient way of signing membership up and then also tracking, people can charge the membership on this thing. They can charge things to concession
But they,
stand.
okay, because the membership's already online. It's on the website.
I know, this is just,
That's what we
this would just.
paid to do, right?
Yeah, because both tennis and pool are online through the village website already.
Right, and I think we paid
Just
additional to
memberships.
have that
Okay.
ballot.
Well, all I know is that there was a lot of talk about eSoft, and, this could be another option available because,
Instead of what?
no, in conjunction with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That-
yeah, we're not quite there yet. I mean,
Okay.
they were gonna contact it, but Mandy was all wound up about it. She thought this was the greatest thing since the round wheel. Because, see, it also allows, you can put money on it, and then your child, if they wanna buy something at the concession stand, they don't have to have cash on them. They can simply, wave the card or a number or something, and it seems to make that kind of thing easier. Or if you have walk-ups, that day, for day passes and things, for doing stuff like that.
Is there any way we could track who's actually using the pool? I mean, so we kind of have a distribution of who's there on what day? You know how
They do track it. When you sign in, you have
But-
to give your,
But do people really sign in?
oh, yeah. You will have to sign in. You have to give your number when you sign in.
Because back in the day, it was just you walk in and nobody stopped you.
Yeah.
No, the lifeguards stop you and ask you your last name and your membership
Because
number.
it'd be nice to see a report about,
Yeah, yeah.
how many people are using it
But that's
per
just
day.
the total
Okay.
for the year.
Well, we're doing that, and then some of the other things that I think they do want to spend money on, since we're not spending money on the big pipe repair this year, is that they definitely want to paint in the bathhouse, both on the male and female side, paint the walls, the floors, possibly updating a couple of the fixtures in there. The lane lines, that needs to be done. A big talk about cutting a new window in the back of the snack shack so that we can have walk-up business, as a way to, increase the.
Who don't have to come into the pool, they just pull up in their, okay.
Yeah, well, they literally can just walk up, from the back side, and yet, no, they would not have entry into the pool.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. Some modification to the shack house would have
Okay.
to be.
So you
Because
could,
it doesn't go up against the fence, though.
You would alter the fence so that.
Oh, my.
could walk up. Well,
Unnecessary.
moving the fence around a little bit, that's a minor. And anyway, that was talked about. couple other, new umbrellas, some new deck furniture, things like that. That was all discussed.
That'll come from a recommendation from the committee. is
Yeah,
that
so,
right?
but that's all, okay, so that's all in the pool commission's
But there's,
report.
but there's
so
no
that's-
final recommendation. It looks like there's things
Okay.
being explored.
Correct.
So we probably can,
There's a lot of exploring.
Do they have a business plan yet?
Well,
Yeah, that's-
that's
weren't
part of
they
it.
supposed to come
Part
up
of
with
it's
a
putting
3-year
together,
mission statement?
a more comprehensive strategic plan for the pool and a marketing plan.
Right,
And a plan for social events, big social events.
great. Well, that's all promising, yeah,
It's all promising.
yeah.
If you want, I can send these are the minutes. I can send these around to everybody.
I'd like to see those.
Okay.
Just
Are
to see
are they
what they're
posted? Joey,
doing
are
for
they posted? Are they
membership.
posted?
Did they post the minutes?
I don't know that I got them.
Well, that's my copy, but you can have it.
Well, but she needs an electron, it'd be nice if she had an electron.
We can scan it.
Yes.
Yeah. Even I know how to do that.
Can I watch?
yeah, I'm in.
All right. All right, moving on.
Wait, can I ask one?
Oh,
So,
no.
Bill-
Oh,
No,
boy.
just about that. You had that really good idea about checking the other filtration thing and not doing is that still being explored?
No, that
That whole thing has now been just pushed off?
whole thing has been pushed forward. Yeah.
So pushed off to next year or something?
Well,
not-
it's pushed off, it's pushed off till the end of this season.
Yeah.
We can't make a decision on that, get that work done in time to open the pool this season.
Okay.
At the close of the pool season this year, then we will seriously get back to that discussion.
Because I thought those were I thought your idea about checking the other potential solution was a good idea, so.
It is, and that's still very much on the
Okay,
table.
got
Very
it.
much on the table.
That's all?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So, next one's me. And it says employee evaluation process. We have not met to really talk about that. You can just say target of June.
But didn't we decide in the meeting that was?
Well, I don't know, it was funny.
That's what I remember what we decided. Remember you had agreed to just talk about it with Bill, that, it wasn't really in the purview of the legislative body. That's what the discussion was.
There was
Is
a
that how you
discussion
remember
about
it?
Yeah, we should just have it, we should
Okay,
just discuss
yes,
that.
let's discuss it.
Yeah,
Okay.
But
'cause,
you've got something new, so it's not
you know,
with the pumper truck, so.
Yeah.
Bumper truck.
Okay, the operations manager, Randy, when he gets back, is gonna be posting that, the role description that we all reviewed. So I look, target of June for 2022 for that. The village strategic plan, we've identified somebody, I think this is just finishing the strategic plan, so target of May of 2022, we should be done with that by then. Since we're meeting March 5th, I would hope by May we'd have it complete. Because it'll come to council, and council will also have a chance, obviously, to provide their thoughts and input. The grant opportunities, so again, we've already moved to the CDBG funds. We've moved that to Public Works, asking for the lamppost stuff. So the other part was the mini planning grant. And Bill, I think, my opinion is, we should focus on what we know we can do. We got a lot of balls in the air still, right? There's the things we had were not wastewater. Wastewater assessment, swim pool master plan. Feels like we still got a lot up in the air. There is a hard deadline of April for that. They've told us that the first time you apply is when you're gonna get your best chance to pass. I wanna make sure we do our best foot forward at that. I'm gonna recommend that we wait and let's focus on doing the CDBG right now and get that done right. And then April of 2023, come back and do the mini planning grant.
okay.
Yeah.
So
What does the mini planning grant pay for?
Well, it depends. So you come to them, and you say, hey, and it's a competitive bid. And so, and I just saw in the stuff that Randy sent, there's only like $100,000 that everyone's competing against. And so again, I want to make sure that we're putting our best, but it's a grant to help you develop a plan for something.
Okay.
And,
it's a planning grant.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're paying somebody
That's, I
professionally
mean,
to
very-
develop a plan.
Right.
It's a
But I
very
agree.
literal name. Okay.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, they mean what they say.
So
Yeah.
I'm proposing.
Well, okay, well, just so I'm clear then, I mean, we're still gonna try to get the grant money for the lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's in her committee.
Yeah, okay.
That's in Public Works.
So yours is going to be
Tar-
April of
2023.
2023.
So for that one.
We
And
really
who's-
want to do the lights.
Yeah, Bill, it's already in hers. And that's why I said, let's focus on that. I think we're trying to juggle too many
Yeah,
balls.
it
and I
it
don't- and I
could
think
be a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Who's tasked with writing the CDBG grant?
it's in her committee.
It's in my
We'll work
committee.
through it on committee.
So we'll,
Okay.
I'm
If
looking at
it's-
you, sweetheart.
Fair enough, give me a call, yeah.
If that was Bogart, you need to work on it.
It was the new improved Bogart.
Okay. I'm done.
And since I don't get that reference, it worked.
No, no, those are mine.
No, come on.
Wow.
Okay, Leah.
Yes,
Is that- Sorry.
it's okay. So I am going to talk to, and I assume that the couple that just left was probably here about the
Parking.
parking.
Well, you know,
I
it's-
was gonna make call into Avia and see what they've got going on, and I'll just go over and talk to some of the residents over at the condominiums and see what the actual problem is. It does seem, I was reading over this, it doesn't seem like it's just a problem at those hours that they're specifying in the report.
That is correct.
So, because I live on that, off of that street.
Sure,
Oh, right.
sure.
And there are so many times when there's people coming off of the Madison, and they're almost clocking the cars that are parked there.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's a way to make the area smaller that they can park in, and so that they're not right on the corner. It's really congested all of the time, and it is a problem.
Well,
Yes.
an idea might be to have just some kind of a drop-off zone, you know, directly in front of the door.
Yeah.
That would be an idea.
Yeah.
Make sure you contact me, because I've got a lot of contact with those, they've been, and Mr. Gaines, who was just here, I'm sure was here to sort of probably hear this part of the conversation. The
Yeah.
poor man sat here for an hour and 15
Yeah.
minutes until we got there. But like I said, I mean, you know, it's getting to be a bit of a contentious topic. So I want to share with you some of the emails that I've gotten from some
That's
of the
fine,
folks.
yeah.
From
And I
both
was,
si-
I
from
want to
both
talk to
sides.
Avia
Yeah,
about
from,
it too.
no,
Yeah.
yeah, yes,
But
truly.
it's safety, I mean, I understand there's a convenience issue, but safety is, as we've stated before, the main concern.
Yes.
Do you have a target date that you want to put down?
If you're not ready yet, you can just.
Whatever,
Just-
what do,
No,
I
you
mean,
don't
what do
have
you
to.
think? Because
It's not-
there's a couple of other things I'd like to talk to Bill and the chief about as far as some other safety issues. So I'd kind of like to get everything together
Okay.
as today. So do you think we can, if I can get together with you next week,
Sure.
then we could probably
I'm
have
on
it.
vacation until March
March
11th.
You know, you don't have to put a
Where are you
date on it
going?
right now.
Yeah, why don't you just do your meetings and then next month come back with a target
Okay.
date?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. And then the traffic and speed concerns, I assume that we can talk about that too, if we can get together next week. I'm assuming
Yeah,
that's mostly on Miami and,
Well,
Rooster.
depends on who you talk to about,
yeah,
about everybody in the village on their streets got a speed problem.
yeah, yes.
Well, and I think, I think that's what this
Depending
is
on
to
what
try and
time
do,
of
is to try and
day.
create some more
Exactly.
consistent
Exactly.
way to be able to handle that
Yeah.
across all places.
I've gotten complaints from my neighbors on, I guess, I don't experience it, but lighting in the parking lot. And would that go into the safety committee?
Well, let's, hold on there. I mean, I've gone back and forth, you know, repeatedly with one of your neighbors, you know, regarding this issue. I've talked to Mr. Spinnenweber about it. I've talked to, you know, village engineer Chris Ertl about it. In fact, Chris, Mr. Spinnenweber, the chief, I forget exactly who all was there. We met over there in that parking lot, you know, to determine the light level, you know, and what is allowed, what they have to do by code. You know, by code, they have to light that lot.
Right.
My last correspondence with your neighbor was quite charming. I know she was quite frustrated, you know, at my response to her, because we don't have a good solution for this yet. I did get Mr. Spinnenweber to agree to put a slight visor on one of the lights that helped partially, you know, deflect the light. And that may be an option for the second light that's back there. It's not a total fix or the best fix, but it's a fix. So I'm gonna get back with your neighbor and try and set up a meeting, an arrangement whereby we all can talk.
So in other words, it doesn't go into committee?
I think that's, no,
Okay,
I really don't. I don't see any value or benefit in that,
okay,
yeah.
all right.
I'm working.
Put it on the task list.
Yeah.
Yeah, put it on it. I'm working it,
Okay,
you know.
okay.
You're working it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
So you just put it on the task list then? Because you're working it.
I don't care.
okay.
Yeah.
So the parking lot lighting
Issue.
issue.
Yeah, it's the back of the square, right, is what you're talking about? Gotcha.
No.
Thank you.
Is it my turn?
Dang it, I
First of
go
all,
last.
the CRA, we should have a target date of March 2022. It just says 2022, and then it should say March 2022. Joni and I, we went through my list and kind of cleaned up some things. So I've been having ongoing discussions with Ed about that. There was a little bit of confusion, so I gave him some material. He's been to review. He has not gotten back to me on that yet. So I was hoping to talk to him about it tonight, but, so I will give him a call and we'll figure that out and we'll have it all set by the end of the month, hopefully. And then with the Explore Financial Incentives, I need to go back and read what was written about that. And there's one thing that's missing, Joni, under my list, and I will get back to you. And I'll put it back on there. Okay?
Okay.
It was about the MPF proposal. You can put it, if you want to just do it right now, it's the MPF proposal for demolition, and what was the other part of that? I don't have it in front of me.
I don't either.
Okay, I'll just send it to you, and you
Okay.
can stick it in there. And then Ken Geis, I've been having conversations with him, and he is attempting to contact the various business owners back in the industrial zone, which not much success so far, but we're persisting.
He did hit a bit of a hitch there.
Yeah.
They are now on their third new plant manager at Kellogg,
yeah.
and he has not been responding. I did send an email, though, to the higher up.
And their corporate person, who we've
Corporate
been dealing
person.
with in the past, changed hands too. So,
But I got the name, we got the name of the new
yeah,
person.
we got the name of the new person, so it's kind of,
We're making progress, but it's,
But it seems like, you know, that other warehouse too, it was
Yeah,
another
yeah.
prime spot we were talking
Yeah, they're
about. Has he been able to get a hold
Yes.
of that person?
well, I mean, that's definitely on the list, and he's been talking with the guy at the metal
yeah.
processor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So does he have a target? Has Ken given you an idea about when he might be in a position to share something, or like a target date for this?
Well, again, we talked about at the very, it's kind of an if-then flow chart, and we don't have we don't have the answers to make those decision points yet. So I can ask him about it. There's just a lot of unknowns.
Sure.
It's a multivariable equation with a lot of unknowns.
Be nice if you had, it's always good to help encourage somebody to have a target date. I understand what you're saying totally though, Marcy. He has to, like you said, it's a tree diagram. You don't know which route you're gonna go sometimes until you find out a response. But,
Well, I think we can have some more discussion about that at another time.
Sure.
Not necessarily tonight.
sure.
Kelly,
Me.
Miss Kelly.
Thank you. Okay, painting of lampposts. So I got a quote today from Brett at All Pro Static Painting. He did make a comment. I was under the impression when we met that John was going to go on a field trip with him and show him the different lampposts. My conversation with Brett this morning is that has not taken place. He has provided me a per pole by type quote
That's good.
per pole. So the next step, I guess, is for that field trip to take place,
Yeah.
and then us to reconvene and decide how do we break it down in a time frame for, do we do it by quadrants, do we do it by historic district? And make a definitive recommendation on a time frame for which poles. But I got the numbers, so that's
That's
That's good.
That's good, yeah. And we can decide how many we can do,
right.
yeah.
Right. Mowing contract, I guess I thought John would be here tonight, but we need to get a meeting going on that. So I'm hoping to get that this week. But we've got a lot of meetings now we're talking about getting scheduled, so it might be the beginning of next week. But regardless, it'll be very soon. Trash recycling contract, that's a work in process, the
Yeah,
resolution we passed tonight. And the same with the street rehab project.
sure.
But
And
the
then
first- Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say that the grant funds will be contingent on our meeting about the poles, painting the poles,
Are the first and the fourth ones essentially the same thing?
pretty much. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna put 4/26 is the first date, and that way it
Yep.
kind of knows that it rolls together.
When does the grant due?
It's in April.
It's in April, so does it need to be, so, is this, I guess it's not complete until, that's fine. I don't know if that grant deadline is dictating.
It's not it's confusing. It's not a hard deadline because it's not a competitive grant.
Okay.
We kind of get it.
But
Yeah, the
it's
money's set
it's
aside for us, but we
heavily
have to-
suggested
we still
by,
have to-
that you got your act together by the end of April.
There's a form and, yeah,
Gotcha.
you have to show.
Mhm.
all the
Right,
grants.
it's not a, okay,
So it's not a hard deadline.
okay.
That's it?
Street rehabilitation project,
Right.
we talked about that?
Resolution
voted
tonight.
tonight.
Yeah, okay. Okay, geez.
Well, do you want the committee of the whole?
Well, I mean, for what,
It's huge. It's
Whiskey
just
Creek
hard to
thing?
wrap your,
Yeah, I mean.
talk about one that's hard to wrap around, so.
Yeah, I think we need to talk about that a little bit more before we go, handing that off to that committee. I want to see some of the information on that and see what the deal is. I mean, that's the kind of thing that's going to be, that's a long
That's a big
project.
chunk.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a big
gosh, yeah.
project.
It's a huge one.
Anything else? No? Adjourn.
Just curious.